mighty name we are praying.
Amen. Thank you very much for the prayers. Gentlemen, colleagues, please, we want to crave our indulgence to please put our... Is it by his track record of administrative prowess when he got to FUT Mina, or his track records in his area, in his earlier place of engagement? You will recall that at the last convocation, Mr. Wande Musadomi hinted of the possibility of engaging our Vice Chancellor in a platform like this one, and graciously, being the man of his words, he approved that the ball was in our courts. And by the grace of God, we seized the opportunity, we grabbed the opportunity with the collaboration of the Iron Lady of the FUT PR department to bring the Vice Chancellor here today. And this morning, though I'm not competent to introduce him, I want to introduce Professor Mosbao Akaji, the Vice Chancellor FUT Mina, to our inaugural platform here, the Correspondent Chapel of the NUJ, Niger State. You are most welcome, sir. My sister PRO will do the necessary introduction as the program progresses. Our members here are numerous, though all of us have not arrived yet. But I would like those who are here to please introduce themselves personally, beginning from Elder Aki.
This is the Honorable Visitor.
My name is Aki Alofete of the Sun Newspaper.
My name is Apu Mustafa, People's Daily Newspaper, and the Secretary of the Chapel.
I'm the Phillips, Solid Friends of Australia.
My name is Ahmed Salahu. I report for
us to come. You made a promise at the last convocation that with God helping you, you want to feature our Vice Chancellor on the first guest on your platform. You know, first thought, you said, is always the biggest. And we thank God that God has made it possible. Our Vice Chancellor need no much introduction nor praises. His work stands him clear. And by the special grace of God, by the time he gives you the rundown of what he has been able to achieve since he came in as the 6th Vice Chancellor of the university, you will know that he's really a great man, a man of integrity, a man of courage and simplicity. He is our Vice Chancellor, Professor Mosbao Akaji. In his entourage, we have the Deputy Vice Chancellor Admin. He is Professor Suleiman Sadi. We also have the Registrar, Mrs. Victoria L. Kudu. We have the Bossa, Ajia Busu. We have the Dean of Students, the father of all the students, Professor Saidu. We have the director of our Center for Media Studies, Dr. C.K. Bala. Professor Bonner. School of Education. He is Professor Ben Atunde. We have the man in charge of our electronic center. He is Dr. Uno Uno. Professor Uno Uno. He's one of the new professors that we have in the university. We equally have at the other, we have the Dean of Saints, Professor Emmanuel. We have the one that takes care of our heads. Over there is Dr. Utmo Adebuki. I can see from the extreme end there, the Dean of School of Agri. He is Professor Ruben Kulu. And we have there also a HOD Computer Science. Okay. Dr. John Alasan. And sorry, I have my brother. We also have
My chairman, Mr. Wole Musadomi, the chairman, Correspondent Chapel of the NUJ, the man who had made this occasion possible. He has been liaising between the university and its members on how to make today a memorable one. Elder Musadomi, please, over to you.
Lord, and members of His entourage, my colleagues, I want to say good afternoon to everybody. When we were planning for this mission, we thought it was the Vice Chancellor and just about 3 or 4 people were attending this platform. But when I saw the long bus coming, I was about running back to my room and prepare again. But then we are overwhelmed with the entourage of the Vice Chancellor of this place. When we were planning this platform too, our intention was to hold it at the campus. But the Vice Chancellor said, no, even if we are going to hold it anywhere, you will be obliged to come and meet us in our office. First of all, we have to apologize for housing you, for accommodating you in this uncomfortable environment. That is the problem journalists are having. Many people regard us as the fourth estate of the land. But honestly, ordinarily, the government is supposed to be catering for us financially and otherwise. Go to the judiciary, go to the legislature and everything. They are being but nothing from the government. And that is why we go cap your hands to politicians, newspapers, at least to solicit for their support most of the time. We have this office. This is the Correspondent Chapel office. And from all indications, you're looking at it as if it's not happening. That is how it is. We have been managing it. And we are very sorry for at least coming to sharing from our pains what we have been experiencing. We have decided to bring you here. The first person we hosted was the chief servant, Dr. Babangida. It was not held here, it was held in his official residence. And since then, we have never hosted any other person. But because of the achievement of FUT under your leadership, and because we look at education being the bedrock of any nation, and we now look at FUT as outstanding among all the universities in this country. That is why we have decided to invite you, at least, apart from the chief executive, you are the next person who will be inviting to come And as we have been doing, even the politicians rate correspondent chapel members of the electronics and the print in Niger as one of the best in the country. This is because we have never been found wanting, retracting any story. It has never happened. We report anybody we invite or we interview accurately. And we are not going to do, and we are going to do the same thing here this afternoon. We assure you that whatever we are going to do here today will be reported accurately. As you have seen, we have reputable newspaper houses. In fact, all the newspaper houses in Nigeria and electronic media are present. I want to assure you that we give you the necessary publicity. Thank you very much.
This chapel of NUJ, Niger State, distinguished members of the chapel, senior officers of the university, gentlemen, let me start by expressing my deep appreciation to NUJ Correspondents Chapel, Niger State, for giving us this immense opportunity to come and interact with you this afternoon. I want to say that since I came here, and from what I met, NUJ Niger State has been a partner in development of FUT. Even if I am not convinced with what I met, what I have seen had demonstrated to me that you are really our partner. Partners are much more than friends because you see our pains, you see our joys. This is aptly demonstrated recently when we had some what we call negative publicity arising from some of our ex-students belonging to proscribed or legal organization. It was carried by press outside here, but the NUJ here got in touch with our university. And when we put out the press conference, it was well carried the following day. And from all over the country, we were receiving reports. That was good. You stated your own side, you stated your own side. If you did not give us the opportunity, the impression, the negative impression, would have stayed long with our admirers and our friends outside this environment. So I want to thank you, sirs. I also see this as an opportunity, a platform opportunity, as an avenue when you can ask me any question, especially anything that concerns higher education in Nigeria. I'll be willing to tell you anything that you want to know that I know. If I don't know, I'll ask my colleagues. And if there are things we cannot see, we'll tell you, we know this, but you cannot mention it. Distinguished gentlemen of the press, Federal University of Technology was established in February 1983 with other universities which are called third generation university located in Akure, Owerri, Yola, and Bauchi. We were established to contribute to the technological, to fasten the technological development of Nigeria. Between 1982 and 2012, we have had the privilege of having 5 vice chancellors and 1 administrator. Our university was midwifed by that erudite administrator, Professor Jonathan Dagi. Professor Jonathan Dagi, we are fortunate he's still living, and every time he comes to our campus, he looks at us as a baby who was not falter. Between Dagi and myself, we have 4 other vice chancellors and 1 administrator. In quick succession, Dagi was followed by Professor Suleiman Adeyemi, who was followed by our administrator, Professor Omar. Thereafter, we have Professor Yania, followed by Professor Tuku Saad, who was followed by Professor M.S. Audu. I have the fortune of being appointed the 6th substantive Vice Chancellor, and I started work on the 3rd of December 2012. It was like yesterday. When you look back, I've already clocked 3.5 years. I have barely 4.5 years to go. I want to say here that my coming was mired in controversy. I met a poison environment. But you do not know me. You reported matters as they were. We settled down, we thank to God. We settled down. We began to talk about it as we move ahead. But it was not an abnormal thing. You can see pockets of such all over Nigeria. Since 2012 and now, we have tried to contribute to our content. I would have been more convenient if I'm addressing this topic in November 2017, then I'll be able to look back. But since I'm still in the saddle, I take it as an opportunity. If we raise issues of things we are not doing well, it means I have an opportunity of brushing such side so that you can repair such. In no direct order, I will just give, because I want it to be, I want the questions to be more, so that it will be free, to be a free enterprise, to be interactive. So in no particular order, I will just go through what we think we have contributed to the university. Let me state, before I start enumerating, that my coming here, I've been very lucky to meet a group of principal officers who took me in not as a Vice Chancellor, but as a brother. When I was coming in, because I said I was controllers, if 13,000, about 500 students, today we have roughly 16,000 students, made up of 14,500 undergraduates and about 1,800 postgraduate students. These students, these 16,000 students, are spread within 8 schools. When the university was established, we had 3 schools. We now have 8 schools. We have very strong postgraduate school. Then, of course, what you cannot do but have, we have in Dean of Student Affairs, who takes, they call him Dean of Deans because he's in charge of students wherever you come from. When we came in, we recognized that our alumni, our students, must fall in love with us. The first social event I attended in Ilorin, after I reported as Vice Chancellor, I met 3 young men that approached me when I was introduced. You are our Vice Chancellor, we have just finished from the university. Those who finished 8 years before us have not gotten their certificates. And we had a system where you come every year to authenticate or renew your statement of result. So those who finished 8 years, as many as 8 years prior to 2012, had no certificate. To apply for transcript in our university, if you know somebody who knows somebody who knows somebody, you can be lucky if you get it in 8 months. We recognize that for the future of universities all over the world depends on their students. You can see the MC remembering where he came from. So the students who pass out from the university must take possession of that university. To take possession of that university, they must love the university. To love the university must show love to them. And the smallest thing we can do is to give them what is due to them, which is certificate and transcript. They have lost opportunity of postgraduate admission, lost opportunity of work, lost opportunity of postgraduate studies, especially abroad. When you say you have graduated 5 years, statement of results are, you are not serious. So the management knew that that is the problem we must tackle. I am proud to say that from 2014, we now give certificates on the day of convocation. And the certificate is printed by the 2nd best printing outfit in Europe. On day of convocation, we give give postgraduate. So we use the first year to clear the 8 years backlog. And from 2000, we used 2013 to clear the back. From 2014, we have been issuing certificate on day of convocation. With respect to transcripts, all students are passionate about transcripts. I am very proud to let you know that from 8 months to infinity, we have been able to reduce it to 2 weeks, 10 working days. Now, if you apply for transcript and you fill all necessary form, you pay all necessary charges, you get your transcript not later than 10 working days, which is 2 weeks. We saw that when we did this, students suddenly fell in love with us. So the next stage is now to meet them at their places of work. We are 33 years old now, so we have alumni occupying middle to even senior management positions in various places. So in a short while, management and some key people in the university will visit centers like Port Harcourt, Lagos, Abuja, Kaduna to meet with our own students and ask them to come. You'll be surprised that some of our efforts resulted in the former First Lady of Benue State, Mrs. Suswan, giving us a motorized ballroom. We have a lot of donations, but they are not coordinated yet. Somebody will just wake up, I hear you are doing well now. They will send books, especially those abroad. They are beginning to revert to us. We also have a strong way of motivating, of showing the way to those who are at their final year. This was started by my predecessor, Professor M.S. Alju, but we have improved on it. And that is to say, all final year students, meet within yourself, contribute within yourself, and put a project down. We call it Leave a Legacy Project. If you pass through our campus, we started with ordinary signposts. This year, those who have just left gave us a building, a public convenience at our motor park on Gidampano campus. So that when they contribute like that at their final year, it will not be difficult to remind them of their obligation when they leave. One other challenge that we met is with respect to housing our students on campus. With a population of 16,000, we have 2,250 bed spaces. So our students have to live outside the campus. And it has 90% of the small problem are arising from those of our students that live outside campus. So we knew to have proper education. Educationists told us that you must have not less than 70% of your students living on campus. I will come to facilities that are underutilized because we don't live on campus. So we went headlong into this. I am proud to let you know that by the beginning of next session, we will have added 1,000 bed spaces for female students, because we see that our female students bear more of the brunt of living outside. That does not mean that we are leaving out our male students. We have also signed agreements with developers, public developers, under BOT agreement to give us 5,000 bed spaces. That's Aswani Infrastructure Development Company. This time last week, I was in Kenya with having discussion with UN Habitat and Agency of United Nations and Shelter Afrique, a development company specializing in providing accommodation, both staff, both workers and students. The people there presently, both in Shelter Afrique and UN Habitat, are Nigerians, and they saw that countries like Rwanda, Kenya, Uganda, they are benefiting, and Nigeria is the highest contributor. So they got in touch with the Committee of Vice Chancellors, and we were chosen as one of the 10 pioneer universities that will benefit from this. So by October, we hope this will take off, so that by the beginning of 2017, 2018, we'll have additional between 5,000 and 10,000 bed spaces. What do we need to keep our students on campus? By December 2012, we subscribed to 35 megabytes per second bandwidth. Today, we have at 48 million. Today, we have subscribed to 155 megabytes per second at 38 million naira per annum. This has really put our university on world map. I should not forget to let you know that by November 2012, we were number 28 in terms of ranking in Nigeria. We were not even within visibility range in Africa. Today, at the latest ranking, which was done in March, I'm proud to say that we are number 7 in Nigeria, number 1 specialized university, number 7 among the 143 universities in Nigeria, number 67 in Africa. This, to us, is no mean feat. And we have always told ourselves that it is easy to move up, but much more difficult to stay up. Because everything now, if anybody wants to, we want to internationalize our university. To internationalize, people will Google you. Are you on what map? Who are you? So by the time we started showing in Africa, we have seen the benefit that it is giving us. So distinguished gentlemen, one of my key points, one of my vision is to put the university on world map. I think we are